it's no secret, like dumpsters is a large portion of the business, but not all of it. But I definitely realized probably one of my biggest fails over the course of a year was focusing too much on what wasn't making me money.
Josh has a truck down. I got a truck down. Joel's truck's down. Dustin's out of town rescuing his wife. Like nobody was able to help Joel, but it's like it's not just me. It sounds bad, but everybody else's misfortune makes you realize it's not just you.
Why would I talk to my competition? These guys are my competition. Why am I going to help this guy grow his business? Why am I going to throw business to him when I can just take it to myself for myself? When they don't realize that you can't be a small operator and not rely on somebody else's help one way or the other. You've got to have
At
a
some
circle
point,
around
yeah.
you at some point. We are live here on the channel. What is going on, Mr. Clayton Roland, Dylan Dunn? What's up?
What's up, boys? How's it going?
How's it going?
That was a lot less enthusiastic than I was hoping you'd be, man. I was hoping.
Oh, sorry. Do you want me to jump
Let's
up and
go.
down? Flash
Could
the
you?
camera.
Do you? Well, I mean,
I
hey,
mean,
whatever. It's a family friendly. No, anyways, it is good. What's up, man? Appreciate you
nothing
being
much,
here.
boys. How are you guys doing?
Can't complain. Can't complain,
Here.
Dylan.
Man, we're here. Had a good lunch today. Got to deal with business, some struggles I'll share during our talk. But yeah, here excited to get to actually join instead of just spectate this time.
Sweet, sweet, sweet. So I don't know. I figured I would just. I kind of like the whole talking with actual real people or human beings, like people I could actually have conversations back and forth with sometimes
Yeah,
the
not you
live
people in the
streams.
comments.
Yeah, live streams are awesome, but sometimes it gets kind of lonely, and it feels like I'm
No,
talking to
I can
myself.
imagine, man. I condone you for being able to do that because I don't know if I could think well enough on my feet to just talk to myself. I mean, I do that by myself, but the tangents that I would probably go down would be insane.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I go off on some wild stuff. My wife says that sometimes I just jump back and forth from different conversations. I was like, I don't know what else to say. Sometimes, like literally talking to myself. I mean, what are you supposed to do?
It's
Like,
your inner monologue coming out in front of everybody. You got to be careful. Like
uh,
a lot of the things that I would probably come out of my mind would land me in prison. So I'd have to be careful.
We end up on a
Dylan,
watch list real quick, huh?
I think Dylan knows
Very
exactly what you're
quickly.
talking about, though. I've heard some stories from Dylan too.
Oh,
Well, let's keep all those
what's
stories off of this chat then. How about it?
hey? What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Shit,
Oh man,
nothing happened in Vegas.
till
What
it's
happened
the
in Vegas,
news.
Clayton?
It didn't make the news. Let's just leave it at that.
Oh my goodness. That's 2 years in a row. We haven't had a chance to hang out in Vegas, man. So
Man,
hopefully
and both times we're like, "Hey, let's catch up," and then we see each other at the show, and then
that's it.
part our other ways. I actually, when I was there last time, I brought my wife went with me, and she's never been,
Mhm.
and I tried to like talk Vegas up and be like, "Yo, it's like crazy, it never sleeps," and I show up, it's pouring down rain, and it's like it's only like 11 o'clock, which is very early in the day for Vegas, right? When you roll up, people are in the streets, people are like, I mean, it's like it's 8 a.m. or something, right? And we roll up into town, and the whole place is just desolate. Like nobody's been on the streets, like ghost town. And I didn't even know how. I was like, okay, my wife is never going to believe a word I say. So yeah. So after that, I had to hype up Vegas the rest of the week.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that was our
hopefully,
first time, and we didn't get out and do much because we were so tired after the expo.
yeah,
We just went
Get it
ate,
out
went
of me.
back to the house.
yeah. Well, so
Yeah.
there's an obvious, like, I mean, we've got two guys with some pretty long beards. I mean, Dylan's got me beat, which is kind of hard. And then, I mean, Clayton, are we gonna be growing one anytime soon, or I mean, you just
Dude, I am growing one. It's been like 6 weeks since I've shaved. No, in my defense, I shaved like 3 days ago. I don't have the patience. You guys have the patience to build things, including great dumpster businesses and great beards. I apparently don't, and you just cut it short. Maybe my wife just likes me looking like I'm 12. I don't know.
I wouldn't
If
call
I
it patience.
shaved, I would too.
Say again.
I said if I was shaved, I would look 12 too.
There you go.
Yeah.
If
That's
I
why
was
I
shaved,
keep
I
a
would look like
beard.
a bowling ball. So I figured I'd just grow something a little beard, man. Oh my goodness. Anyways, so I don't know. Let's get an update, real quick. Update on how has business been for you guys over the last, I don't know, this summer. Let's get say how's everything going for you, Clayton?
On my end, pretty good. I would love. I really need to make myself sit down and kind of pull some exact numbers, but just off of off the hip type stuff, I see Keegan way less, which is an indication to me that I'm keeping him in the truck more. And I know that sounds really silly, but like I can think of like I mean Keegan's now been with me for 3 years. I gave him a raise recently. I mean the whole 9 yards, and it was kind of one of those where I was sitting there one day and I'm like, shit, I haven't seen Keegan in like he starts in the morning and usually at that point I'm either off to what I'm doing or um, get my daughter ready to go to school or whatever it is, and he's off and then I go off in a different direction. And I only see him then in the middle of the day if something goes terribly wrong. And I can think about just like 6 months or a year ago where it was it'd be Wednesday and I'm like, well, what am I going to get Keegan to do today? So, I mean, right off the hip, I'd say we're doing pretty good. We need more dumpsters. I need more guys, and I need more money. So, I mean, what's new?
Sounds like a common issue in this
Right.
industry.
Cycled. It's that cycle.
Man, it
Yes,
looks like we.
Yeah,
absolutely.
my driver actually called me right as we were starting. He's still running.
Oh,
Dang, really?
man.
Do you use
Yep. Well,
that
my truck
24
broke
hour
down
landfill?
Monday. We have to sometimes, and it sucks because it's about 90 miles from my yard. But we've been
Oh,
sold
wow.
out. I bought those 10 dumpsters last month, and 3 or 4 weeks ago, and they immediately went out, and I'm still sold out. So we have had to use it a few times just to keep up. But yeah, my truck broke
Yeah.
down Monday, so now he's running everything.
Dang,
Mm.
man.
So,
Good problem, but definitely a problem.
Dylan, what about you? How's well, we heard a little bit, but how's business?
It's been crazy. I'm still the newest on this chat or this video, but this year over last year has definitely improved, grown. Um, Definitely gonna make some big moves this year. I know you want to kind of get into that. That's one of your topics. I won't get too far, but um, it's definitely doing really well. Our winter wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be this year, which helped prep us for the spring. But no, it's been really good. We had our April quite a bit of rain, but other than that, it's doing really well.
Yeah, we've had a lot of rain this month too. Um, I mean, it's been raining here the last couple of weeks, so on and off for a
Well,
while.
y'all have gotten more down there than I have up here. It's been a little drier here, so not too bad.
Yeah, well, which is odd because usually you guys get hit a lot more than we do up north.
Yeah.
So no, so actually, let's just get right into it. A couple of topics I had, and I'm just gonna go through. Let's go through the first one. A couple of regularly, asked questions. Um, well, let's go right to the nitty gritty. Wins, failures, and the brutal truth. What would you guys say is a win for you guys this year? Something that maybe failed or something that you can improve on, and then let's just be honest and just talk about it. Who wants to go first?
Wins. All right, so I've got another truck rolling this year. I think this year already I've doubled my inventory, growing really well. Um, I've had to learn how to be a boss though. I'm used to being in control of everything, so I'm learning how to deal with having an employee, how to manage people, that side of the business. It's a lot different when I don't know what's going on. I don't talk to every customer. That's been a tough struggle for me. And truck problems. I think we figured out in April alone, I spent over $20,000 in truck repairs. Um, and I'm probably sitting at 7 or 8 thousand already this month. I think is what we're adding up to. It's been the truck repair has killed me this year, but we're still working. We're still getting everything covered. We're staying busy. But yeah, the trucks have been a horrible fail so far this year. So I'm looking at buying a newer one. A little less issues, hopefully, a little less beat.
Now you do a lot of work yourself, right? I mean, so 20 grand.
Yes,
I'm sure not all of it was you did yourself, but if you hadn't done it yourself, where would you be at? Would you think?
probably closer to 30.
Okay.
Wild.
Mm.
Yep.
Big
Wow.
trucks, big problems.
Yep.
Yeah.
Clayton, what about you?
Man, wins, fails.
It's a hard question.
Oh man. I know, man. It's a the list is ever changing. Some days the wins are also fails. I don't know how to explain it, but some days I'm just happy when I have nothing to report. I don't know how to say that, but like
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
it's like it's no secret. Like dumpsters is a large portion of the business, but not all of it. But I definitely realized probably one of my biggest fails over the course of a year was focusing too much on what wasn't making me money, which was, I mean, the real estate part of it, long term, great stuff. That the dumpster business funded that, but I invested so much time last year into real estate that I just literally let tens of thousands of dollars walk past me in just opportunity. And so I think this year, starting to kind of sure up what I was working on last year and being, able to hyper focus on building a better business in general and better processes of everything else and learning to let go, kind of like Dylan talked about. Not worrying about every single customer and seeing every customer and talking every customer and you know all the little details that you can hire out. Once you start letting go of that stuff, you can get on to the bigger problems and the bigger money. That was, I don't know, both wins and losses. I'm just happy that I think I just right now, my win is that I got through the chapters that I had last year because they
Hmm.
blooded way too far into this year. If you know what
Hmm.
I mean, like where you were working on projects that should have been done 6 months ago and they're just now getting finalized. I feel like a whole new human being than I did last year. And that's the honest
Yeah.
truth. I I feel so much more comfortable that I can just think more clearly right now.
For sure. I
So
mean, not
So
I'm not gonna put anyone's business
that's
out there, but I know
oh,
you and I talked a few times, and you and I talked last year, and I was like, man, like it was a little rough, especially with like all the different projects that you had going on and that you started,
yeah,
and the storage units and the or the apartment building and all that stuff,
yeah,
all that at one time is just a huge money suck. So when you talk about real estate, I mean, on
yep.
my end, that's one of my biggest failures is I still am sitting on 2 big ass properties that have costed me a
Oh yeah, that's
lot,
right.
and I ended up buying out the short money, short what is it? Short money? Hard money loan on the
A
second
hard money
property.
loan, yeah.
Yeah, I had a hard money loan that I extended twice, and it was just costing me an arm and a
Oh
leg, and I
yeah.
said, "Forget it, I just paid it out," which overextended me, but it is what it is, so and I'm still sitting on them. It's not a good time to sell houses, even in Texas. It really sucks, so, yeah, that's
No,
what's going on.
it's that's the thing about real estate, man, is there's so many ways to go about it, but if you like get so far down one path, you can find yourself just quickly like doing everything you can to survive or to either keep the property or get rid of the property. It's an interesting balance that everybody wants to get into real estate, everybody wants to do real estate a little bit, and then you find out really quick whether you once you actually do it if it's something that you have any stomach for at all. And it's better to just kind of like the dumpster business. I never would suggest anybody just quit their 9 to 5 and just immediately just all in on dumpsters like and assume it's all going to work out for you. It's kind of the same for real estate. You don't want your first property to be a commercial property that has an overhead of $500,000 a year, whatever it is. You don't want that to usually be your first experience. Some guys make it happen, but I definitely wouldn't have been one of them. I tiptoed my way in, but I also found myself in the deep end really quick.
Mhm.
so on that, I want to hit on that because I don't have experience in the real estate side. To me, or for me, just not knowing. Do y'all think that's more of a risky business versus like something like the dumpsters or similar? Because the real estate, how do you push that? Like with dumpsters, when I did quit my job and had to make money, I was able to go out and push and knock on doors and like sell dumpsters, push them. With real estate, you've got one building or one house you're trying to get somebody in, trying to sell, rent, whatever. Like, is you think when somebody's in there, it's a 12-month lease or a 5-year lease or
Yeah,
whatever, on your commercial
that's what
properties.
you hope. That's what you hope until the police are at their door because of a domestic violence and a 4 foot
Eviction.
8 girl is beating up a dude that's 6'8", and you're getting all the reports on it like on a daily. And that's a true story. I won't go into details, but like you would think it'd be that easy, right? That you get a place rented and then you're done with it. You don't have to worry about it. But in reality, no. Like if I wanted to take a bet on like what's going to make me more money right now, and like what could I survive on, dumpsters all day, all day. Like the real estate is
Okay.
like the retirement plan. I mean, that's all it is. It's just this long term generational wealth idea. But the idea of like if I lost my dumpster business right now, and I wasn't married, and all I had after the dumpsters was the real estate. I mean, I would be living in one of those apartments because I couldn't afford my house. Like that's how quickly
Okay.
that would fall. Yeah, yeah, no,
Okay.
no. That's a very long term plan, not a monthly income type of situation for me personally, at least.
Gotcha.
Yeah, not unless you have like a bunch of doors. A bunch of doors
Yeah,
to be able to, it's just, and obviously you grow to that if you want to get into that. But it's just, anyways, it really, at least for me, I'm not. Well, I wasn't planning on holding on to them and renting them out. I mean, that's probably what I'm gonna have to do eventually. But um, mine was just a fix and flip, and and instead it turned out to be a fix, spend money, spend money, spend money, spend money, and hold, and just wait and pray, and then just
Go
pass out.
check on
So,
them every time it rains,
and
and
then
yeah,
just light a
I've
match and
talked to
just
you
say,
again.
"Fuck it, let's collect the insurance money."
yeah. So
But
somebody needs an insurance buddy.
yeah. Hey, but we talked about earlier. So you mentioned it a little bit earlier, Clayton, on drivers, and both of you guys mentioned drivers. Clayton, I'm curious to know because I honestly don't know. Keaton and you, are you guys old friends, or how did you find him? How did that whole job offer start?
I'll say it with and then quickly get to the point. I know Keegan because of his mom.
Keegan, sorry.
And now I'm going to jump to the point. Keegan, the only reason I knew his mom was because she worked at a company I worked at. Keegan was coming back from the military. I mean, Keegan, it cracks me up. The kid doesn't want to be like a over the road truck driver, but I'm telling you, he's got. I know he has his tanker endorsement. I mean, he has literally the military, whatever branch he was in of transportation, gave him every like possible combination and every possible endorsement you could have on a license. One of those he's still maintained. I need to double check on him because I know at some point, I think actually last year, they kind of sprung it on him that he needed to get like a renewal of some sort for some of them. And he's like, yeah, I'm not doing that
Mm-hmm.
because I mean, endorsements for certain things where he's like, I'm never going to do this again in my life. But Keegan came back from the military, took a job as like a um, whatever you want to call it, the guys that go from bank to bank picking up money, armored trucking, which is an incredibly interesting business if you dive into it. Very shocked at the operation that I saw locally and what I learned about it. But anyway, he worked there
They don't pay
for a
much.
while. No, they don't pay much, and like the requirements to basically openly carry in a predominantly not very Second Amendment friendly state was very interesting to me. Like the first gun he was given for that department, like I probably shouldn't air too much of this out, but like the first gun that he was given was like pretty janky, and the guy who gave it to him gave him like there was like 8 bullets in it. And like and he's like you can practice, and take your test or whatever they had to do requirement wise. And then like a couple days later, he's moving money around town. And what's crazy is he would start here and he'd go over to St. Louis. And Keegan's like, I mean, he's a pretty he's not a hothead. He's nothing like that. But it was really interesting to hear Marine say, "Yeah, like I'm not even gonna wear like a bulletproof vest because they're going over to like some really really rough neighborhoods." And he said, "I never was worried that I'd walk into like a convenience store and get robbed or I'd be at gunpoint, but I was always afraid once I get to like East St. Louis." Which is hilarious because it's like 2.5 hours from us, but that's how far out they service. He's like, I was always waiting for somebody to have a gun pushed up against the back of my head
Mm.
at like a Bitcoin machine, which I didn't even realize was something that they like maintained. Was like a Bitcoin machine in the middle of East St. Louis, but I think somehow those machines operated with like maybe prison systems or something, like the way they pay, in between, the inside and the outside world or whatever. And he's like, I was always just wait. Like I always assumed if somebody was going to kill me on the job, it was going to be like I'd have my back turned.
Mm.
And it was just something really, like he got to the point where he could not stand it, and he was driving in silence with different guys because he just could not stand the job. And so far, he's loved working for us ever since, and he's been great. Like I said, gave him a raise this year again, and just said, hey, let's just keep doing what we're doing. Um, I like I said, I would do a lot for Keegan. He's done a lot for me. I mean, Keegan used to live in one of my apartment buildings, so he moved back. I started working for me because I was working at this real estate company, and he was actually literally initially kind of like running my business, and I was filling in on the back end in the evening. And then it got to the point where we were both running hard. So Keegan's been there to see like the development of like these stages. So I found a unicorn. I'm gonna stop talking, but like I literally did find a unicorn, and I talked to other guys about some of their drivers, and I feel so fortunate. I really do.
Dylan, you and I have talked about adding second drivers or even more drivers. Where are you
Yep.
at?
So I think I waited too long to hire my first one now that I got one. I didn't want to commit to paying somebody if I could do it myself. And so, like last year, I was running 16, 18-hour days, almost 7 days a week for 6, 7 months because I didn't want to pay somebody. um, Now, realizing how much time that freed me up to work on the business, to do a better job at selling, go talk to contractors because he runs the truck full time. And I'd say, when my truck's not broke, about 3 days a week I run full time. I get a couple short days where I can kind of get out and go, kind of work on the business a little bit more. And that being said, as we're getting busier, I've been working on a quote I was talking to you earlier. Looking at buying some more cans pretty quick, probably an additional truck. So I think I'm here pretty soon going to get another full time driver for the tandem. Let me step back part time. And I'm gonna get my single axle back on the road. I'm gonna order some more cans for it. I'm getting a little bit more inquiries for the smaller stuff, and it doesn't make sense to run my tandem on 15s and 20s. So realistically, I'm considering getting two more drivers this year. Let me
Is
run
that two more
my
drivers and
truck.
one more truck?
Well, I have my single axle. I haven't been running it. It's been parked. I haven't been utilizing it, so I'm gonna get it back on the road here pretty soon. And so, if everything
That's
keeps
really cool.
going correctly, then I'll have two tandems with drivers and a single axle with a driver. And then I'll just fill in as needed. It's been very stressful. There is nobody's gonna take care of your equipment the way you do. They're gonna have dumb questions sometimes. Um, it seems like there's a lot of stuff's happened in my truck that I can't say it was his fault. It's weird stuff, but it's like, man, you've had way more problems than I have. What's going on? It's kind of just stressful. My truck was in the shop again a few weeks ago, and I was like, well, I can't do anything on Friday. Took my wife down to Galveston for her birthday. I get down there, and he has a full day of work, and I get a phone call that he's broke down on the side of the highway. And so now I'm 6 hours away. I'm calling Josh, calling Brian, and seeing if somebody can help cover those loads in case they don't get the truck going. I'm calling mechanics, sending them out to fix them, and I'm like so helpless. Before, if I wasn't there, the truck wasn't moving. I didn't have to worry about that stuff. But that freedom to be able to walk away when it must be nice that I could go to Galveston and let my company run. Maybe that ruined my weekend because I was too stressed out about what was going on here, and the truck broke down. And now that meant he was working Saturday to make up for what he didn't finish Friday, and it was really stressful. It's definitely a lot to worry about, so it kind of makes me nervous hiring more drivers. But I just look at, I wish I would have hired one driver sooner, so I don't want to let that fear of having more keep me from growing. So yeah, I think at least one, if not two more this year.
Yeah, I don't think I ever regretted hiring somebody because they took over a lot of stuff off my plate. I think I regretted hiring certain people because they were just not
Yeah,
the right hire, right? But as far as like hiring somebody and then all of a sudden realizing I didn't have enough work for them, there's always enough work at the end of the day. I mean, it's just question is there enough money in the bank account to pay them, and then can you keep them busy? But as long as as far as I'm concerned, as long as my employees know that if they're not running cans or he's not running cans, and if I hire when I hire the second one or more, If they're not running cans, there's other stuff that they can do. There's other stuff in the business that the business needs. There's a lot of maintenance items
Right.
in the trucks, that are required that help, preventative maintenance stuff, shop stuff, all kinds of things to keep them busy. So I'm at the same point where I need to hire a second person. I've actually posted a couple times, just to free myself up because sometimes uh, during the week I can tell that I just don't have enough time to do stuff that I need to do. I don't have enough time to check on my properties. I don't have enough time to do my paperwork or keep my bookkeeper happy. I don't have enough time to just do a lot of that stuff that I just need to do in order to run the business. So I'm not like you. I'm not the go door to door type person and go meet the contractors. I'll shoot them an email, but for the most part, like I'll pick up the phone though and pick up, make some phone calls and check up on people, and see how things are going. But I don't know. It's an interesting
And I still
time.
run. I still answer all my phone calls. Oh, but
No, I think we're
I say I
lagging.
still answer all my phone calls, do all my sales. And so that's hard when you're in the truck and you're busy and you're trying to fight the schedule and traffic, or you're at the landfill, customers calling. Um, so I realize I'm more valuable being on the phone, being able to give them my attention, be able to set them up in the system right then, and kind of secure that sale. I'm not ready to hand that side off to anybody yet, so I'd rather hire a driver than hire somebody to answer my phones, honestly. Um, and so I think that's a lot better. Like you were saying, that stress of, especially whenever it is slow. Heck, when we were having rain, it was really nice to be able to send him out and, like, I'll keep you busy all day, and now I got time to take care of stuff in my own house or work on the other truck, or go deal with situations like that. Like Josh just said before, I do a lot of my own work on the trucks, so it is nice when I don't have to put it in the shop. I had the time to do my own repairs. He could run one of the trucks. That stuff that is nice, and just be able to work on the business, not be stuck in it. And I realize the value in that. So that's my goal with. I like driving a truck sometimes, but I'm not near as valuable to the business in that truck.
Yeah, you made a really good point. Like right there, like I just had like a little euphoria there because that's my win this year is significantly less windshield time. I mean, I get angry now when I have to go to the landfill. Where I used to like kind of enjoy the time like behind the windshield because in my mind I'm like, okay, I'm making money, and now I'm like,
Right.
no, no, I'm not. It used to be like, oh, I'm making money because I got to go to the landfill and then I get to drop off another one. Now I'm going, okay, well, this truck needs this truck needs this tenant needs this, and my list gets long. So a win for me now is only doing a couple drops in a day and then letting, my driver or drivers take care of getting a couple cans emptied. And then I can continue to like, kind of like you said, have those conversations with people because now we're doing more demos and more, you know, long term projects, focusing on content, focusing on actually like building the brand that I can have that mental capacity where sometimes I'm literally just worried about how fast I can get to the landfill and back. And you would think that that shouldn't take up any mental capacity, but it does.
It
And
does.
it's not, yeah, it's not appropriate for building a business. That's for sure.
100%. 100%. You talked a little bit off air about scaling and adding more equipment, adding more dumpsters. When are you guys, I'm sure we all get the same question, or, you know, when do you add more? When is it time to add more dumpsters? When is it time to add more equipment? Um, what's your rule of thumb?
Man,
So
loaded.
I waited too long when I was running by myself. I was running the 16, 18 hour days. Um, handled 20 cans by myself. When I ordered 10 more, I knew I needed help. But I also can't expect my driver to run the way that I would. So I've kind of figured out, what can you do in an 8 to 10 hour day. I need one driver per that many cans, roughly. It's kind of, we're getting some more long term stuff's not there, that's sitting a little bit more, so I can stretch those. But it's kind of that point right now. We're sold out at 30 cans. I got two more. We're supposed to be ready tomorrow. And I'm still sold out. Schedule workout or subbing it out to some of you other guys. Um, so about 15 cans per truck seems to keep us busy out where we're at, just because everything's so far. We cover such a big area. And so it's kind of that deal. I'm just kind of planning if I'm going to buy 15 more trucks, I need, or 15 more cans, I need one more truck, one more driver, because like I said, that 40 to 50 hours a week is all I really would expect out of a driver. So I got to kind of think of it that way, not what I handled by myself. And so that's kind of the math I'm doing. Um, but there's also, like you've said before, Josh, as far as I'm looking at adding to the fleet, not upgrading the fleet. So like that skip going from a trailer to a truck, when to make that jump is going to be different because it's not necessarily going to make you more money if you're still running the same cans with it, unless you're going to put a second driver in there. So there's different things to consider just on what your plan is. But that's kind of I base it on that. If I can get 15 to 20 cans per truck, if I get exceed that, I need to plan on another truck, and at that point, more cans to justify that truck and keep it busy as well.
Yeah, I think you made a great point too. Expect knowing what your driver can do versus you as the guy who owns the business. Because as great as a
Right.
relationship as I have with Keegan, I want to keep that relationship good. He's still like my employee, and he doesn't own my business. And so I don't care if I don't get in that truck. I could not get in that truck for the next 6 months, but the day that I get in it, I will run circles around Keegan because
Yep.
I started the business, I own the business, and at the end of the day, it's my liability. I will do more dumpsters than Keegan does in a day. And somebody told me something once that stuck with me, which really helped me understand like what's a good employee and what's not. If your employee on a daily basis can do 75 to 80% of what you're capable of like the day-to-day task, not the mental capacity, not the operations of the business, but if they could do 80% of the labor that you do in a daily basis and meet that expectation, they are worth every penny in every capacity because that's somebody who at least cares about your business without actually owning it too.
Right.
Yeah, it's really hard to find good employees who care. And the problem is, even once you do, you always got to remember, like you just said, Clayton, that they're still employees. They're not the owners of the business. They're not going to ever run as hard as you do, and it sets a bad expectation on our end as far as owners to expect them to work as hard as we do, or expect them to even say, "Well, I do this," or "I can run 5, 8, 10 dumpsters a day." So can you. That's poor management, because it's just never going to be the same. I mean, but you
Yeah, that's
hope
the
for
quickest way to
everybody.
run somebody out.
Yeah, yeah. There's bad culture
I was about to say last time I almost burnt myself out, and it's my business, so you definitely don't want to do that to your employees.
for sure.
And that's like right now, like I said, my driver's out running right now, and I would have relieved him, but I knew we had this planned. We've got enough runs tomorrow. If I don't get my truck back tomorrow, I guarantee you at about 4 o'clock, I'll jump in that truck and I'll run as long as I have to finish the day to make sure he's home. Kind of slip seat right now because yeah, I think I've got 9 cans scheduled for tomorrow already, and that's if nothing else calls in. Um, but I don't expect him to run. He is working late tonight. I'll let him off early tomorrow. But yeah, definitely can't expect our drivers to put in the hours and be as efficient as we are. They're just not going to.
Yeah, looks like we've got definitely some internet connection issues, guys. It's got to be on my end, so I apologize. I will be
Uh oh.
re-uploading this whole video. It looks clear as ever on my end, but I'm seeing a lot of comments where it might not be coming through really well. So we're gonna re-upload this as an actual video onto the channel as well. Uh, so just so we all know.
Bummer. I hope it's blurry and they just can't see my face.
It's
You know,
definitely. I
my
think
No,
it's
I've
name's
got you pulled
that's what
up
it
on my
is. A
phone.
lot of
You're
them,
clear.
that's weird.
go through a couple comments real quick if I can get them up. There we go. Oh, I just left. Ryan
I say
Local
what's up,
Waste.
ladies.
He said, "Yo, what's going on?" Antrell, you guys know Antrell from where is he? Down south Texas.
Austin, San Antonio,
One of
somewhere
those.
there.
I confuse all South Texas. If it's South Texas,
I always do
Southwest,
too.
it's just down there. It's just down there.
Uh, and Trails because I was logged in like 45 minutes before we started.
Let's see here. There was a good comment here by Heritage. Heritage is in the house. He touched on what we were just talking about. If I can scroll down here, we keep 25 dumpsters available on hand for delivery at all times. When we run low on dumpsters, we always keep available and we order more.
I
25
can't see
dumpsters.
the screen. Is that a heritage out of California?
Yep,
Yep.
Yeah, what's up, dude? Yeah, he's a great guy.
he is good, dude. They're good people.
He went and ate
So
tacos with us in Vegas.
yes, and the tacos were the shit too. They were really good. Oh, we would have invited you, Clayton, but you're too busy and too big time for us.
Okay, knock it off. I had commitments to the wife. I had to show her the Vegas, man. I had to
Oh
show her the
man,
Vegas.
could have shown her the taco stand that we went to. It was delicious, bro. It
Oh,
was
you
great.
didn't invite me. You're right. It's your fault.
Um,
So
so
25 available. That's a lot.
yeah,
It is a lot.
yeah, I
That's a
get
lot of
nervous.
inventory.
I literally just told Dylan. I believe I told Dylan the other day. I literally had about 20 something in the yard, and I'm
Yeah.
like freaking out because it's like, holy crap. But then on the other hand, it
Yeah,
means
but
I
you
got.
even know it yourself. You know it yourself. You've even told me this the first time it happened to me when I got more inventory. And I probably have the least amount here. Is the more inventory you get, the more you freak out when you see cans in the yard. Because you can have twice as much inventory out that you did 6 months before, but that also means you're gonna have twice as much inventory in your yard if you're scaling at an appropriate rate.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
mean, like
Well,
it's
the day
definitely
we
an
were
internal
talking,
battle.
100%.
yeah, the day Josh and I were talking about that, it was we were talking about our numbers. He's like, man, it slowed down. I got stuff in the yard, and I think that's what it was. You having roughly 50 cans and had 20 in the yard means you had 30 plus out. I have 30 cans and I had borrowed two, so I had 32 cans out. So we were running the exact same numbers, but he's freaking out because he's got too many in the yard, and I'm panicking because I'm gonna say no to the next call because I don't have anything. But we were running the exact same numbers. It was that funny kind of realization, and I like to
Yeah,
be personally about
two
80%.
different ends of the spectrum of freaking out of like I don't have enough and I have too many, but in reality, you're both right and you're both wrong.
Mm.
Or like
Right,
in that moment. But it's like you have a solution, but even that solution is going to cause you to panic in the future too.
right.
But I still bought more dumpsters, and now Dylan's buying more dumpsters
I
because it's like an addiction. It's terrible.
It is.
I need that tax write off. Scratching your face like I need that tax
I
write off.
I just hate telling people no. I hate being sold out and having
You
to
don't
turn
have to
something
though. I've
down
always
or
tell them. I tell you all the time. Like, just give him my number. That's all you gotta do. We're not
bro,
gonna talk.
you are I sent you one yesterday. But you're 100 miles away from me too, so
Mojave Equipment. Kingman Dumpster says that's a great point, guys. I've been wondering how much efficiency. Why is my camera moving? Holy moly! How much efficiency I should be expecting, anticipating from an employee. That was a good point.
like Clayton said, 80% would be great. You'll probably get less.
I mean that is like optimal too. Like it's hard to find
Yes,
that. Like, let me be clear.
right.
You will get mad when you have a driver call you and say, "Yeah, man, I'm going to be like another 20 minutes. I got to take a shit." And gosh, man, drivers have to take a lot of shits. I don't get it, but it's just, it's like, man, I can hold that for 3 days if I have to. If I'm running hard, I'm not doing that for 3 days. Like, why are you stopping twice,
Why does he tell you when he
I'm
has to
bad
take a shit
about
though? He doesn't. I'll be like,
bro?
just don't tell me.
No, I think he just has stomach issues. You guys can mention in the comments on future videos. Hey, Keegan, how many times you go in the bathroom today? No, I just give him. I give him shit for taking
it.
shits. How about that? He's one of those awkward guys
Uh,
too. I don't, you know, him. He was like, he's like, can I run home to do this? I can't do this in public. I'm like, bro, nobody's watching you. Nobody's watching you while you do it. Just go to the next gas station.
No, man, I don't. Hey, I'm with
yep,
him
my driver has
100%
said the
on
same
this.
thing.
I'm 100%
Oh,
with him.
really?
Yeah, I don't do
It's a
public.
thing. I mean, some people can't do it. They're like, I've got to do it in the privacy of my own home. I'm going to lock the doors when I do it too.
I mean, something had to have happened, like erupted
Yep.
terribly for me to have to use it. I don't remember the last. Bucky's is different though. Like Bucky's is like your own private suite and your own private office when you go into the bathroom there. So I'm good with Bucky's, but there's not another gas station in the state of Texas that I will probably go to the bathroom in. Anyways, that's
Bro,
me.
I kid you not, and this is too TMI
Uh,
for this and very not family friendly. I went to the bathroom today and I sat down in the gas station and I went, wow, that glory hole wasn't there
Oh,
yesterday. And I kid you not, I'm like, it didn't phase me one bit. I let that I went to the bathroom, walked out with a smile on my face. I thought it was hilarious. If Keegan would have walked into that bathroom, he probably would have clocked out for the day. If I told
oh.
him no, you need to go, like we got somewhere to be, he would have clocked out and been like, you got to find somebody else.
This live stream is going a
No,
whole
I
different
will
angle.
I will lean on the bottom step of my truck in the ditch on the side of the highway. I don't care.
All right, Jose's asking
Ryan just
Clayton.
said the same thing.
Oh, Jose says to Clayton, "Have you burned down the Dollar General yet?"
Oh, Dollar General yet? Man, let's just not even bring. You know what? Dollar General. Oh wait, you can see the comments. I just figured out how I can view the comments. The Dollar General problem has subsided. The things were fixed that needed to be fixed. Am I happy about it? No. The worst part about the whole ordeal is I can't be the enemy of the town.
Mm.
Long story short, I could have gone down a very, very nuclear path on that ordeal. And I'm not kidding when I say nuclear. Um, but at the end of the day, when I tell you that I have a lot of freedoms out where I am and a decent amount of connections where it's like, sometimes it's worth just like taking one off the hip. Hey, this sucked, but not to ruin everybody else's day. That town's highlight before used to be the fact that like the gas station had a coffee machine. And I kid you not. A Dollar General, as much as I hate Dollar Generals and what they really do to certain communities, was needed 10 years ago. It just really sucks the people that popped it up and the way they did it and how dirty they did me. But even me hating going to a Dollar General ever since that incident, being able to walk into that place and grab like Windex cleaner for like my truck window since it's right by my shop, before I send Keegan down the road is insanely convenient because it was another 20 minutes to the next location that basically had a cash register of any sort outside of a gas station. So, long story short, Dollar General is still standing. I haven't ran anything through it yet. Doesn't mean I won't in the future. But yes, that was a chapter in my life that I'm really happy has ended for the most part. And that the company that originally built the place, let's just say they made sure to sell it. And I think they strategically did that to avoid, what processes I could have taken, maybe to disregard some of their responsibility, if that makes sense. They made sure to off that property as quickly as they can. I'm sure that was their model from the beginning, but I do know that it did not sell for the price they wanted it to, and they definitely sold it as quickly as they could.
Mm.
So,
Those Dollar
long story
Generals
short,
in small
still
towns
standing.
like where we're at, we call them like I lived in a town called Crum, Texas, and
Mhm.
when we lived there, that's everybody called Dollar General the Crum Mall because there was nothing else
Yeah.
there. If you needed anything, you go to the next town over, or you had Dollar General. You could get clothes, food, cleaning supplies, medicine, whatever you needed. Right there, yeah.
Yep.
I
Yeah,
understand how
Yeah.
that
They
is.
needed it a long
down here there's several Dollar Generals in every single block or every single town for sure.
time. Yeah. Every foot, it's like a Starbucks.
We got little big dump in the house. Rieger dumpsters. What's going
I'll
on?
be right back.
He's gonna fill up his drink. Wonder what's he drinking. Let's see. Residential dumpsters. Things are crazy busy. It's going through a couple with all the rain here. Our landfills get crazy. Hey, when do you guys get cold up there? When does winter times kick in for you guys?
You talking about me?
Yeah.
Um, I mean,
When do things
it's
really
kind of
start slowing
weird.
down?
Yeah, it's not like, as weird as it, like we're Illinois, so we're not like Michigan, where it's like they have like, like there's like literally a week where you could target. It's going to be really cold here. But Illinois, man, it can go all the way into like, I mean, December, you can see 60 degrees, and then the next day it's -5. And that's not a joke. We had a variance of, I don't remember exactly the number, but it was like a 68-degree change in weather between like Friday and Saturday
Mm-hmm.
of like your low. So it's wild. And what's really upsetting why people are sick here all the time, I swear, is one day it's 60, the next day it's 5, the next day after that it's 45. So it's, I don't know. I would say by end of December, you can guarantee it's usually cold. But you can see the cold as early as, you know, beginning of February.
Yeah. We don't really get obviously it's Texas. We don't really get that cold here, but still things really slow down January and February for us. This December
Yeah.
was actually busy. This past December was actually busy for us, which is
Our
unusual.
so Yeah, we talk about how like, the winter changes everything. Our December was busy, but what really kind of creeped up on me was my January was slower than expected when normally that's when it would after the new year, that's our pickup season. So I had like a 1 month like delayed fuse because January hit and then February all of a sudden was like super busy for us.
Hmm.
So I don't know. It's weird. The cold, that's what just sucks about here is like the
Well, so
cold's
that was
very unpredictable.
Yeah. What do you say, Dylan?
January was bad for me. February was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
So my
December was.
January was pretty slow, but February it took off.
It just really depends on. I mean, again, it could just be one contractor that's giving you a good job. You know what I'm saying? Like a real good job that's keeping you busy for a little while, and then all of a sudden you got a
Yeah.
really good month, for sure.
Yeah,
But
that's the thing when you look at logistics too, like of like your year after year. Like I was freaking out this year because I'm like, what the heck happened? And it just takes one, like you said, one contract to really throw your books off. Where I'm like, why do I see like a $20,000 or $40,000 variance between this month and this month last year? And you go and look and you're like, oh well, yeah, because that one company ordered 30 cans
right,
versus the what my normal average would be. So that's
right.
something you really kind of need to when you're actually looking at your scalable growth, look at like your actual month to month averages and not just your yearly and what is causing that to happen.
So, question for you guys: how's competition looking for you, Clayton, in your area right now? Has it gotten crazy? Has it gotten people dump trailers, roll off trailers, popping up all over the place, or is it just kind of like normal business?
They're out here. I mean, they are. I feel like I dodged that bullet probably longer than anybody. Maybe being the only game in town, and I mean, I hit it hard. I made marketing wise sure that we were freaking everywhere. I wanted everybody to know what rolling operations was, whether they needed a dumpster or not, and I think that helped. But we've got some guys popping up, and it's funny we've developed such good relationships with the dump, and the multiple landfills, and make sure to bring pizza to the scale workers every once in a while. Like I want them to like us, you know what I mean? Because no matter what, every once in a while you need to sneak in when they're turning people away for XYZ reason, or if it's a transfer station, or if a refrigerator hits the ground because it was snuck in at the bottom of my dumpster. I want to know that like somebody's going to kind of like take care of it for me, and I don't have to worry about that because I need that dumpster to be somewhere. Long story short, like it's really cool because the landfill employees, yeah, they keep us posted, and I can actually hear about like when guys are asking like, how does Clayton do this, how does Clayton do that, and it kind of cracks me up because I'm now starting to realize when you were the only game in town for a while, people just wanted the quickest path to the success. The hardest route you take, they want to cut that in half. And I've noticed trends and
Yeah.
things that guys are doing that like I look back at what I did, a year or two ago, and it's hilarious because I'm like, okay, they're here. Now I need to, I don't try to focus on them like hardcore, like what is every person posting today on Facebook or what is everybody's ads ranking on Google today. But I do definitely keep tabs on them. I mean, they're here. I've got 3 or 4 guys that I'm watching now, and best of luck to them. I've got some junk removal guys here that I know followed the channel for a while, and just kind of like everybody says, oh, YouTubers are ruining it for everybody. Yeah, whatever. I mean, they're in my backyard too. I mean, I'm well aware of them, and at the end of the day, I'm just trying to be the better one. And but also still, I need them every once in a while, so I'm not trying to make enemies with anybody.
I was gonna say, do you ever network with them? Do they reach out to you or anything like that?
No, I mean, so I do think I have the problem of scale here where, I mean, we're a town of 40,000 people, and we're the biggest thing for 120 miles.
Hmm.
So unfortunately, I do feel like some people are like, no, like I need every little bit of this that I can. So there's a couple guys that I pass stuff on to, and they pass stuff on to me for sure, but we don't overlap
Okay.
services a whole lot because like I give my 40 yard and 30 yard stuff to guys. I give my 6 yard stuff to guys. I get calls for that stuff, every week. I just tell them, hey, these are the guys you want to call. But 14 and 20 yard guys, like, yeah, I'll give stuff to guys when I'm out. And, I think they do the same for me. But we probably don't talk as much as we should. And I don't know if that's a fear thing, a control thing, or what, but small town, small problems. You know what I mean? I think everybody's just trying to protect
Right.
their own.
Mm.
I'm not saying like I'm technically in a small town, but I'm close enough. I work in DFW, so I mean,
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
But like we had our lunch today, and that's where Josh, the town he's actually in, is pretty small as well. I mean, it's bigger than my town, but it's still pretty small. But we're on opposite edges, so we kind of travel into the cities. But we had lunch today, and I mean, Josh brought the whole crew, so he had, half the table. But I think we probably had, uh, man, there was what, at least
It was
12
it was a good group.
business owners there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a pretty
That's
big group
awesome.
today. Um,
That's awesome.
but we communicate like that quite a bit, and I mean, we give each other quite a bit of work, cover each other when we need it. Like today, we were working on talking pricing. How can we, if a customer calls me and they're down in Josh's area, what is he going to charge me so that I know how to quote it? Make sure that either I tell them a price and he's going to stick with it if I send them to him, or if I do a re-rent situation or whatever. Like, how do we? What's a comfortable number we're all okay with working so that we don't have to tell the customer, well, let me see if I can get back to you, and they call somebody else. Let me go ahead and quote it and know that one of the guys in our group was going to cover it. And just trying to kind of standardize that. Like, we're not all the same price, we're pretty close, but I mean, it's kind of cool to work with 12 other businesses and say, hey, if I need to send you something, what are you going to charge me? Let's all agree on something. So, because we got a group chat, like Josh talked, I think, before we started, where we'll put it out there. Hey, I got a 20-yard dumpster over here. Who wants it? Who can help me out? Who can cover it? Whatever. Um, and there's a few people always chime in, and some say they can't. Some, you got two or three guys say I'm available, and we know that our customers are going to be taken care of. Even like that's an area like Josh there. I don't want to drive the far; it's not practical. But having that relationship with him, heck, I sent him one yesterday, and it was actually a guy I've known for years. And I was like, man, I'll be honest with you, it's not really worth me going over there, but I'm gonna send you to a good buddy of mine. Here's his number. Tell him I sent you, and they delivered it this morning. And it's great to be able to have that because I didn't lose that customer. He still got taken care of, and everybody's happy at the end of the day. And so those relationships, and then not even just that, but just the issues, the questions, the um, heck,
Breakdowns.
I, yeah, my truck broke down Monday, so I'm having a bad day. And I know Dustin wasn't here. I don't know if he still is, but he called me and he was like, "Man, my wife's car broke down. I'm on my way to go help tow her home. My truck breaks down. I got to get it towed home, fix my truck so that now I can go rescue my wife. Josh's truck's been in the shop. Like, man, if not, it's easy to get in your head, be like, why does this keep happening? I spent so much money on truck repairs. But then I talked to the group and I'm like, half of us, heck, Joel had his truck broke down half the day today, and he was like, hey, anybody able to help me? And it's like, nope, my truck's in the shop. Everybody else is, Josh has a truck down. I got a truck down. Joel's truck's down. Dustin's out of town rescuing his wife. Like, nobody was able to help Joel, but it's like, hey, it's not just me. Like, it's part of it. It goes through, it's a lot easier to actually, it sounds bad, but everybody else's misfortune makes you realize it's not just you.
Mm-hmm.
It's just part
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
We all roll
The
with it. If
world's not
not, I'd be like,
against
man,
you. It's just
everything's
people mind.
against me. Exactly.
No,
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
we've
I wish. Oh, sorry, guys.
go ahead.
No, I said I wish it was that tight around here. I just can't say it is. And when I say there's a couple guys popping up, I mean it's truly just a couple. I mean, small town, so there's only so much. I think some people would love to get into it and they realize they can't. Or we've had a couple guys come in and then phase out really quick when they realize it's not really a thing to side hustle. But I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I don't think there's that tight knit of a community, or at least in the dumpster space locally. It's really cool. I get to talk to guys around the country that I have much more
Right.
meaningful conversations with than the people locally that are in business who pretend like I don't exist or don't want to talk to me, which I get. They're maybe trying to protect their own. Like, I'm not going to push that issue, but I would love to network and communicate with people a little bit closer, kind of like you guys and some other guys I know in the industry get the chance to do, and that can rely on each other, because it is kind of a, if it doesn't work out for me, I don't have a whole lot of backup plans other than it falls on me, or somehow, like, if my cans can't get picked up, I don't have like somebody else to call to come service them. I have to find a different way to service them. You know what I
Mm,
mean?
And
yeah.
that's one of the things that where we push that. We got a few guys in a group that run your Max D setups, and that's one of the things that we say. And not that and we use you as an example all the time. That Clayton's made Max D work and done really well. But like you said, if something happens, if you can't get to it, if you had a truck go down, not having backup was one of
Well,
the things where we talk about
well,
the like
here's the
Josh
crazy
and I
thing with
both
that
buy dual
topic, though.
hook.
Well, no, here's the crazy thing with that topic. The like three examples I'm thinking of like competition, even though they're significantly smaller and whatnot, all Max D. Like their system, they could pick my stuff
Oh,
up, but would
see,
I
so you did
trust
that
them to
good.
take care of it? Yeah, would I trust them to take care of it? I don't know. I don't know them well enough to be like, hey, go pick this up
Right.
for me and represent my company. I don't know them that well. Um, Actually, the more I think about it, I have more people I could call for that problem than I do standard rail, which is actually nuts to say. And that's just how
It is.
unserviced this area was for so long. Was you had your Republic and you had like two scrap yards. You know what I mean? You had two scrap yards in the area that also did dumpsters. But outside of that, I came in and I was the first non-standard rail guy, and then now that's all that's popped up since.
Mm.
I don't know anybody. I don't know anybody that started since I did that's started with a standard rail setup or a hook lift, which is just actually
Hey,
pretty crazy to say.
That means they're watching
well,
you.
tell those guys that Josh has a Max D trailer for sale.
For real.
Yeah, that green one, right? That lime
Ah,
green one. I keep eyeballing,
Yeah.
it's like
waiting
one of
for him
my
to be like
houses. I can't get
Clayton.
rid of that shit either. I can't sell nothing.
Dude, that thing is
But
bright
but
green
that's
too. Like if I was in the market for a trailer, like that'd be the trailer I'd want. If it was standard rail
yeah.
or non-standard, like I want that bright green trailer.
I mean, it
But
fits the
that's the deal
rhino, so
talking
we should
about
go.
it is, but it won't fit my cans. But no, talking about the equipment, we in our area we do say standard rail, but we Josh and I both, if people ask us, we will always push not only standard rail because it's common in our area, but the dual hook. We've got
Mm.
Josh, Chet. I think Chet was in here earlier. The Hooklift guys that are in our network, and so they can go pick up my cans, but they I don't know about Chet's. I think he ordered just his first ones. I think we're all hook only. But Josh and I haul each other stuff pretty often
Chet bought one
because
of my
we did
25s.
the dual hook. Okay.
Hmm.
Dual.
Yeah, I don't have the only hook guy we have around here is a scrapyard, and they were doing hook. Sorry to be funny, but before it was cool. Like I can remember back in like eighth grade, I swear they had a hook truck. Like it had to be one of like not like the first ones, but you know what I mean. Like it was a long around a long time ago because I remember back then I was like that's so cool, and then for whatever reason I never did it. But yeah, I mean it's funny. They are the only like
Clayton,
even
I'm just gonna say
Republics
you're
around
the youngest one out of us, though.
out of us. I mean, I take my
Yeah.
youth with pride, my man.
Whatever. I'm 22.
He's like, that was a long time ago. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, you're like whatever. That was 3 years ago. No, no. Yeah, no. I mean the hook standardizing, especially in a group of guys that you trust everything, and that's really smart. I mean, there's no doubt in that. I think also too, if you ever have any plan of selling your business, like if you plan on growing something crazy and then selling it, I mean, you don't even worry about whether it's hook lift or cable pull. I'd be looking at GFL or Republic or somebody who has the money to buy you, and I'd just be like, I'm just gonna buy whatever they have. I mean, that's what I would if I was like, I'm gonna build a
Yep.
trash business
That's where,
to sell a trash business. I'm just gonna look at whatever my local competition has because like that would make you the most obtainable. That's not necessarily my goal. I hope Republic calls me one day and goes, "Stop making YouTube comment or content." Like I don't care what system you have, just stop making YouTube content because too many people are doing this. Because collectively, we don't really we our groups of guys do not affect Republic locally. Let's be honest, or DFL, but collectively, the entire trash industry has changed in the last 5 years. That as a whole, we are literally eating those places alive, and the only way they can compensate it for it is by
oh, yeah.
raising landfill prices and raising prices on customers because we're just taking away parts of their business at like slow amounts. um, I mean, it's a cutthroat business if you really think about it because I mean, like mom and pop trash shops or trash like routes, if you think about it, their margins are so thin and they're literally just building that business hoping that Republic buys them or GFL because you can't charge. I mean,
Yeah.
around here, if I told you like local trash pickup was $100 a month, people would abandon that. Like they want to pay like $35 a month.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to imagine you have to pick up that trash 4 times a
Oh
month.
wow.
Those margins are so thin that these businesses are just building them with the dream of being bought out. And so, yeah, I mean, that's like really long term. If you're getting into the business, like the way, if that's your goal, I would definitely look at yourself locally and not what everybody else around the country is doing.
Well, so that's one of the things Josh told me whenever I was, because you YouTube guys that ruin the industry, helped me get started. And when I was talking to Josh, like, all right, which way to go? He said, if you ever planned on getting big enough to where you might get bought, go cable. And then he went hook. But anyways, that was why I made that decision. Hey, if I ever wanted to get bought, but now my goal is just to get big enough that Josh buys me. So we'll see.
Whatever. I'm trying to do the same thing, man. I just want Dylan. Dylan wants to buy a bunch of cans. Just pick me up, man. Just pay it out. No, when you talked earlier about like the networking and stuff like that, man. This has been almost. I think it's been what, a year and a half, almost 2 years now that we started the group, and so it's even
Mhm.
after
Yeah,
two
January of
years.
last year.
Yeah, so okay, so a year and a half. So I mean, even after a year and a half, I mean, we still only have what, 12 guys, and this is DFW. It's huge. So I don't really think it's a small town issue when people like just don't want to network, or they, not that they don't want to network, but they feel like they just want to keep everything for themselves. I think it's just a, first of all, it's a type A personality. It's a guy issue, right? It's a business owner who's like literally like why would I talk to my competition? These guys are my competition. Why am I going to help this guy grow his business? Why am I going to throw business to him when I can just take it to myself for myself? When they don't realize that you can't be a small operator and not rely on somebody else's help one way or the other. You've got to have
At
a
some
circle
point,
around
yeah.
you. At some point, you've got to have a circle around you, whether it be, another competitor slash, friend in the industry, whether it be, a junk removal guy, whether it be a family friend who can help you out and like fix your truck, whatever it may be. But you've got to create those networks because we just can't do everything ourselves. You cannot grow that way because eventually, I don't know, you're going to be at a point, unless you're like Clayton and you have like every type of machinery that you can have. You got the skid steer, you got the excavator, you've got,
No,
demo
no, no.
experience. You can
Maybe
flip up a
no, no,
dump
no.
truck.
I think I'm painting the wrong picture here if that's the case. No, I think I'm still lucky in the fact that you made a good point. Your DFW, like you're talking population of what, a couple million,
Six,
and I'm
seven,
talking the
8 million.
population of
Easy, yeah.
yeah. So if I transitioned like mentality slash everything plus size, of course I probably would be able to network with like those 10 to 12 guys. Luckily, but I at least have the benefit of like being able to pass business back and forth. Like I said, I've got like guys that like immediately, like I know if I say, hey, this guy is who you need for 6 yards, I'm sending him to them. 30 yards, I'm sending him to the 40 or the 30 or 40 yard guys, like the guys that I would rely on to represent my business and like fulfill the customer's needs because, hey, they're not the best fit for me. So I think no matter what, having that good relationship is great. And I try not to step on their toes. Like when somebody truly only needs like 6 yards, I'm not trying to sell them like a 14-yard bin. Like it's just, I know that I can pass that business on to somebody else. They get a better price. Customers happy that I didn't bamboozle them, and hopefully, they come back to me in the future.
Yeah, but when somebody needs a
Having that.
6 yard, sometimes they actually need an actual 15 yard or 14 yard.
Oh yeah, that's a whole nother
Oh
topic.
yeah,
That's a whole nother topic of. I had what was the one I had a couple days ago? I had somebody call me, ask me for a 40 yard. And I said, well, all we have are 14 yards, but she didn't hear me right. And um, I said, well, they're 14 feet long, 5 to 6 feet wide, and about, 4 feet tall. And that's all I had in stock. Like my 20s were all out. And I was like, I can get you one of those later though. She goes, oh my gosh, that's absolutely huge. And I'm like, I'm sorry, wait a second. You just told me you needed a 40 yard bin.
Mm-hmm.
And but she was willing to pay a 40 yard price. And I'm like, the sometimes people that just aren't in it, they don't know what they need. They hear a buzzword or something and then they think, oh, that's what I want. and
Yep.
then it shows up on their doorstep, and they're like, "What the heck? That's not what I ordered."
Yep. I like the one where I got a phone call one day and she's like, I didn't get the dumpster that I ordered. And I was like, what do you mean? Well, I ordered a big dumpster. I was okay, well, you got a 30 yard. And she's like, no, I wanted a 22-foot dumpster. I'm sorry. She ordered a 30 yard and she wanted a 30-foot dumpster or something like that. And I was like,
Yeah.
not even,
Yeah,
it's not even okay. I'm done. I'm done talking to you. Or
yeah.
a
No.
20-yard
And
dumpster.
they
Like, no,
talk
I
to
want
you
a
like
2-foot
they
dumpster.
talk to you like you're the moron too, and you're
Yeah,
just kind of like, "Come on, man! Like
I know.
brain power. Let's use it."
Well,
Yeah. I had a 30-yard with about 52 yards in it the other day.
it's always nice.
Yeah,
It's always nice.
yeah. I
All
just
right,
had one
guys.
of
I'm
those
not going to
too.
hold you guys anymore, man. I appreciate you guys being here, being on the channel. I'm sorry we had the internet connection issues during the live, but we will repost it up as a regular video. Any last final words of wisdom for the the people watching?
Well, yeah, we didn't hit
Mm.
half the list we were going to talk about. There's a whole lot more we could go on.
All right, well, we got to do a
Yeah,
part
that
two at
was
some
my
point.
fault. I like to ramble. I ramble, man.
It's
Rambling, man.
good. It's easy to do. That's like our lunches, our phone calls. I can't tell you how many times I've been on the phone with Josh in the middle of the day. We're just driving around. It's like, man, I talked to you for 2.5 hours straight.
Not that long. You made
What
me
do we
sound like a
even
little
call each
girl.
other for?
Not that long. I'm not a little teenage girl, but maybe a couple
I'll
hours.
screenshot our
Just
call
staying up
log.
at
But
night they're under the covers talking on the phone
we
together.
listen to each other sleep. That's what it is.
Whatever. Oh man,
Oh
but I go to
my.
bed at 9 o'clock, so I mean I go to bed pretty early.
Oh jeez.
All right.
That's when I get my.
Now
That's
look.
when I have my last energy drink.
Shit.
9 o'clock.
Right.
No. Cool. All
Now
right,
we'll have to
guys.
do this again. That was good. There's a lot more to cover, so I like
Heck
that.
yeah. Heck yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
man. Keep grinding, and yeah, just hold it all together. That's all we're doing. Putting one fire out at a time and keep moving forward.
just trying to live the dream, right? Just trying to make that money. So
Yeah,
we
Yeah.
out. Don't forget to
it's
like,
out there.
subscribe,
What
smash
is
the
it?
notification bell. Oh,
Smash the notification bell.
there you go.
We should have went down the line.
Hit
We
that
didn't
bell.
coordinate that very well.
Oh, we didn't think about that. No, next time.